Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist here at FINAN Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'll show you how to make the blocks for the table runner, Here's My Heart. If you'd like to purchase our pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be using batiks today and 2.5-inch pre-cut strips and a grouping of pinks into hot pinks and reds and a fun background, kind of a marbly pink, kind of a color wash kind of thing in the background. And the heart blocks kind of dance back and forth across the table runner. This is the block here isolated out so you can see what we're going to be working on. And we're going to be using a special tool in order to cut from our strips the pieces, the triangles that we need here. And then from some larger strips, we'll cut the large triangles here at the bottom. So from the strips, we have a tool that's called a FINAN Porter 1/2 and 1/4 ruler. And the instructions are actually printed right on the tool, so we'll help you to correctly place the tool and what size strips you can cut from. But remember, since we're using pre-cuts, we're using 2.5-inch strips. So in order to cut the pieces that belong in the top of the heart here and then appear along the sides towards the point, we can easily cut those off of a strip of fabric. The tool is set up so that you can cut either half squares or 1/4 squares. In this case, we're going to use half squares. The half squares are used, our positioning is the yellow on the one side. As you can see, it comes out the corner. This is the side we're going to be using. We're going to be putting it so that there's a mark for the strip width, 2.5. Match that up along the bottom of the strip. The small yellow triangle should hang off the top of the strip. We're going to cut along the diagonal here. We can then rotate this around so we can get a nice clean cut at the beginning of our strip and take away any selvage edges or uneven edges that we may have. Oops, stuck to my glove. There we go. And then we would have pieces that could be used in this position or down here. And you'll just follow your instructions for the number of triangles that you need to cut from your, it doesn't take too many. We want a little bit of variety, so we're just maybe cutting two or three from each strip in order to make the scrappy version of the hearts. So once we have triangles like this, we also need to cut them off of our background fabric. So in the same manner, placing that ruler along the strip that you cut of the background, 2.5-inch strip, you would cut your triangles there. Now I have some of those already cut, and we'll start to lay out the heart. So we're going to follow your instructions and your diagrams that'll help you to place everything in the right spot. You're going to be joining triangles together to create those tops of the heart. And here I have these already sewn. Let's talk about the placement of those triangles together. Since it's a little bit different than we normally do, we're actually working with triangles instead of trying to do two at a time. We're just doing the one. So we're going to put them right sides together and you will see them across here. If you have triangles extending on opposite ends, you've done it right. So let's take that to the machine and put that seam in there. A lot of times when we show you techniques on making triangle squares, we tend to use a method that makes a lot at once. In this case, we're making just a few and we're making different color combinations. So we've actually used the 1/2 and 1/4 ruler to efficiently cut those and help you to use your 2.5-inch strips. Okay, take my little spider away there so I have nice and clean. And that way, when you open it up, very easily have your triangle square ready to go into its position. So you need 4 of those along the top. From your strips, your instructions will also tell you to cut 4 2.5-inch squares. That's the easy row. Then you can just put those together, join those into a row. Now you need to address the bottom portion, the bottom half of your block. And what we're going to be looking to get is this kind of a shape. We have a large triangle, 2 smaller triangles, and a square. Square, of course, is cut just like these in the 2.5. We're going to be cutting some more of those from the 1/2 and 1/4 ruler. So I have a square, 2 pieces cut from the strips from the 1/2 and 1/4 ruler, The telltale sign here is that they don't have a point on one end, so you know they came off of strips. The large triangle is cut from a 4 7/8 inch square that's just cut in half diagonally. You see that's the size it is. So then one square will yield the 2 triangles that you need for the bottom. Now let's go through the construction on this one really quick. We've got diagonals here. These are bias edges on the inside. So we're going to keep those to the inside. We're going to have straight of grain here. We're going to construct by simply laying this piece on top of the square. It's easy to get confused before you get to the machine, so I always pinch the side that I want to put under and follow down that cut edge for my seaming, because it's easy to get to the machine and then have it twist around on you. And this is an easy technique. Again, the reason why we're doing it like this is so we keep straight of grain to the outside edge of the block. You want to be fairly careful with your fabrics. You don't want to push or pull through the machine. You don't want to have any distortion. Now lay it back in place. I'm going to very gently just roll that open, press with my fingers. Because they're batiks, they press very easily just with fingers. And then I'm going to put the second piece on, rolling it over. It seems like that overlaps a long ways, but if you look at your V, that's about a 1/4 inch between the tips of my finger, and that's what you want. So again, making sure you sew the correct side, hold on to it till you get to the machine. Make sure you place it right in front of the needle right away. So you're sewing the correct side. Down this side. The fun part here is that you can use a variety of different strips, different prints, and if you're like me, you might have a stash of pink and red fabrics. Very easily go into my stash and make a table runner just like this. Open that last side. What you're looking for here is from this intersection to the outer edge, right here, should be a 1/4 inch. You've done it properly. Now you just need to put these 2 pieces together, laying one over the top of the other. The best thing to do is to roll it over and sew from the other side. You can see the intersection of your seams here. This X is what you're shooting for. As you stitch across this seam, you want to come really close to that intersection. If you're going to err at all, err towards the seam allowance, not into the block. And then you will have created the last piece that goes into your table runner. Now lay those into place. I'll pull up the one that's already done. And you can see here, I have gone right through that intersection, just a tiny bit into the seam allowance there, just to avoid that tip, and that way I get a nice point. You're going to join these into a row, the center into a row, join these 2 blocks together, and then join everything. You have blocks. They go back and forth and dance across the quilt, or the table runner, and then you have a narrow outer border to let those hearts sit through the center of the table runner. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.